What's going on, guys? My name is Tim Roswick, and today we're talking about ideas again. We've talked about ideas a couple times on this channel, and I feel like they come up a lot because it's really kind of relevant to game development. And more specifically, I want to talk about a specific concept that has come up recently in the Ludum Dare stuff that we're doing last night. But it's something that I've kind of learned over doing the Finish Friday stuff. 8 games in 8 weeks, finishing all the stuff rapidly, like rapid prototype, making a bunch of games quick, focusing on quantity over quality, just kind of trying to make as many games as I can in a shorter period of time, and then kind of going back and doing like a quality pass over them to make the good ones better. But I've learned that like your best idea is not always your first idea. And I know that sounds simple, but a lot of people have this idea for a game, me included, right? Like my first game idea was this game called Project Exodus, and it was going to be an epic first-person shooter. It was going to be like Halo. It was about alien invasion, and there was all these big epic war scenes, and that was the game that I always wanted to make. I had entire notebooks full of what that game would be. I had characters, I had cutouts, I would cut stuff out and paste it in the notebook, and like I had a notebook this thick of all kinds of cool stuff that game would be. And I always dreamed of that game, and it turns out like that game was not my best idea. It wasn't even my best idea for an FPS. I would love to make it at some point because I feel like it's nostalgia for my childhood because that was the game I wanted to make. But a lot of times when I approach games, like the first thing that I come up with is usually not even remotely close to the best idea. And that's why prototyping is so important, because testing out a bunch of different ideas can really kind of help you wrap your head around what's fun, what you like, what you don't like. And that's why, like, when I'm doing live streams, especially doing like Ludum Dares or stuff like that, or game jams in general, any kind of idea that chat throws out that maybe I'll disagree with, but it seems like it might work, I'll try it out. I'll build it on stream, like live, and just to see if it works, even if I disagree with it, even if I think it won't work, because sometimes it does. And by thinking my first idea was always the best, I feel like that limited me so many times in life. It stopped me from like being open to other stuff, and like especially when it comes to something as crazy as games, right? Like it's just, there are so many things in games that there's no right answer for. There's no right answer on whether you should do this or this. They're just different. They're two sides to the same coin. Neither one's wrong, neither one's right. Like just one of them is different than the other. And thinking that your first idea is always the best kind of stops you from getting to even choices like that sometimes. Sometimes you just like, you go with the thing, and because you're so focused on it, you don't ever actually get anywhere with the stuff that you're trying to build. And I think that's really limiting. I feel like that stops you in a lot of ways from getting anywhere. And if you want to open your mind, if you want to make great games, I feel like you gotta be able to get down to those ideas that are number 5, number 10, number 15. And the way you do that is you prototype. You prototype rapidly. Like for this Ludum Dare, I don't know if you've been on the stream following, but when we started on Friday, we had this idea originally for this pyramid zombie game. We scrapped that because it was too high of a scope. Then we ended up with this prison game where you would go around and you would beat up people to collect money, because the theme was the more you have, the worse it is, which I'm not going to go into the theme. But basically, the more you have something, the worse the game gets. So we were thinking like, okay, what if you beat up inmates, and the more you get money from them, the more money you have, the more inmates attack you. But like that, it just wasn't working. So we're like, all right, what about a prison game where you manage the prison and you can take in as many inmates as you want and get more money, but the more inmates you have, the more fights you take, and all that. That wasn't really working out for me either. So when I got up this morning and we got on stream, we did Ludum Dare, we started over. And I messed with a bunch of different ideas up front. All variations of kind of the same thing. But we ended up on one that was really cool. And you'll see that very shortly, I'm sure, in the I'll show it off probably Monday or so when we finish it. We'll show it off. I'll show it off along with everyone else's games, and I'll play this with Ludum Dare. But that idea never would have come about had I not been willing to start over, even on something time limited as Ludum Dare, which is 48 hours, or 72 for the other one. But you know, had I not been willing to like be open to new ideas and try new stuff, we never would have come up with this idea. And I feel like a lot of developers are stuck there at that first idea or that second idea. They don't realize that their best idea is their 10th idea, you know, or their 15th or their 50th. You just got to keep going. You got to work through stuff. That's why I believe in quantity over quality, because I feel like quantity or quality comes from quantity. I feel like those two things are related. So trying to focus so much on the quality up front can stop you from discovering all of these different things that can ultimately lead to the quality that you want to produce. So another short video today, because you know we're doing all the Ludum Dare stuff, doing 8-hour streams and stuff, but I hope you found it useful. If you did and you got something to say, please leave me a comment below. If not, please leave me a like. I always appreciate when you guys do that stuff. Like or dislike. If you dislike it, thumbs down. Totally. Your free speech, you know. Not trying to say anything. But I appreciate you guys coming out. I appreciate you guys coming out for the stream and hanging out. I appreciate you watching this video. Until next time, I will see you later on today on the stream or tomorrow.